let's talk about the mistakes with intermittent fasting that can really affect your results. Number one, you're going too fast, fasting, and your body has not adapted yet. Some people like to jump right in, and sometimes you can just go too fast. So let's say, for example, you just start out and you've been doing the standard American diet for years, and now you're going to start fasting. So you're doing this on top of a blood sugar issue, and you haven't given it the normal 3 days to adapt. You jump from 0 to 90 miles an hour, so you're right at 1 meal a day. Typically what's going to happen is you're going to be very highly irritated, you're going to be extremely hungry, and you're probably going to cheat, and then you're going to say, this isn't right for me, and give up. When in fact, if you did it correctly at the right level, you'll work with the body and it would work for you. All right, next one is you're eating too many carbs without even realizing that you're eating too many carbs. So sometimes this is called sort of keto, because when I talk to people, they'll tell me that I'm doing the ketogenic diet, and sometimes they'll tell me it's not working, and then I'll ask them what they're eating, and then they didn't really realize that fruits are carbohydrates, or rice is a carbohydrate, or sweet potatoes are carbohydrates. They don't realize the impact that just a little bit of carbs can have on your ability to stay in ketosis. A little bit of carb can knock you out for 2, sometimes even 3 days. And I'm talking about knocking you out of ketosis. It takes a while to get into ketosis, and all it takes is a little carb to knock you out. And if you're doing this a couple times a week, it could be the reason why you're not seeing any results. All right, the 5 and 2 plan, okay? In this plan, you're pretty much eating whatever you want for 5 days, okay? And then in 2 days, usually the weekend, you're bringing your calories down to 500 calories per day. Now the problem is twofold. One is all week long, you're pretty much eating what you want. And then on the weekend, you're going to eat a smaller meal. This is not enough time to fully adapt to the state of ketosis. You're going to be struggling with this. It's going to be very painful. It's not going to be comfortable. You're not going to want to do it. And of course, you're going to probably cheat and say, this is not right for me, and give up. So if you're going to fast, I would recommend actually fasting. Not try to do this with 500 calories and think you're really going to adapt. It's just not going to work. All right, number 4, you're doing fasting, but when you're eating, you're not having enough calories to provide enough nutrients. Now, here's the thing. When you're actually lowering your calories, you're going to have to, at the same time, increase the nutrient density of that food or enhance it with other supplements to make sure you're getting your nutrients, because the purpose of food is twofold. One is fuel, the other is nutrients. So when you're fasting, you're tapping into your fat fuel, but at some point, you need nutrients. So if you're not consuming enough calories, usually you're not going to have the nutrients. Now, at first, nothing's going to happen, but down the road, let's say some weeks or even months, all of a sudden your hair is falling out, you're noticing other problems with your teeth are loose, bleeding gums, all sorts of things. So I really wouldn't necessarily worry about calories, but really focus on getting your foods nutrient dense. All right, number 5, consuming low quality ingredients. So let's say you're fasting, and then when you eat, you're consuming this powdered soy protein isolate mixture, okay? That is very, very low quality, and it's in a lot of different products. What's going to happen with those low quality ingredients is you're not going to look healthy. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to completely look like a crackhead, but you may sort of look like a crackhead. All right, next one is number 6. You're not consuming enough potassium and B vitamins and even trace minerals to make sure your body has all the requirements. Now think about this. We're doing fasting to improve our health. So all sorts of genes are kicking in, anti-aging genes, genes that help reduce inflammation, that help regrow your brain tissue. And if you don't have the reserve of nutrients and you're fasting, and then when you eat, you're consuming regular foods, you may end up being deficient and run into issues. Other than looking like a crackhead, heart palpitations, hair falling out, you're going to be totally fine. All right, number 7, if you're a vegan and you're doing keto, make sure you take B12, DHA, zinc, and probably iron as well, simply because you're not going to get these unless you consume animal products. All right, number 8, you're doing intermittent fasting, and then when you eat, you're doing keto, but you're doing it low fat. Some people still have this fat phobia, and they're going to keep their fats really, really low. So if you keep your carbs low and keep your fats low, something has to go up, and that's going to be protein. So too much protein can create problems as well. So when you cut fats, you're also going to cut fat-soluble vitamins. You're going to cut omega-3 fatty acids, all sorts of very essential things with your fat. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And check out this next video on other keto mistakes that a lot of people make, but they're not realizing that they're making them.